Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Bala ma'am, your screen minimize आएगी ma'am.
Bala, can you hear me?
Chitra ma'am.
Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning,
ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to meet you all.
Hi, good afternoon.
Actually, it's noon there, and it is morning here and noon there. Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
And good morning, Dr. Maina.
Yes, hi, Prof. Good afternoon from Indonesia.
Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Subhadra and Maina, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning. Morning.
Welcome, ma'am.
Ma'am, good morning. Nice to meet you. Your audio is muted now. Your audio is muted.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are all in sky blue color.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
I too have.
Forgot.
So when can we start? After 5 or 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Ma'am. Sharply 10 o'clock we can start.
Okay. Yeah.
Chitra, ma'am.
Chamundeshwari.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Only 13 participants are there. Shall we wait for 5 more minutes?
No, ma'am. We are only here, ma'am. Others
Okay,
will
okay.
not.
Okay, just
Chitra, ma'am.
good morning and a hearty welcome to all of you who have joined with us in this virtual international conference. Let us begin the program by seeking the profound blessings of Lord Almighty. Praise on.
It's not audible.
ஆத்திச்சூடி இளம்பிறை அணிந்து மோனத்து இருக்கும் முழுவெண்மேனியான் கருநிறம் கொண்டு பார்க்கடல் மிசை கிடப்போன் மகமது நபிக்கு மறையருள் புரிந்தோன் இயேசுவின் தந்தை என பல மதத்தினர் உருவகத்தாலே உணர்ந்து உணராது பல வகையாக பரவிடும் பரம்பொருள் ஒன்றே அதனியல் ஒளியுறும் அறிவாம் அதனிலை கண்டார் அல்லலை அகற்றினார் அதனருள் வாழ்த்தி அமர வாழ்வு எதுவோ
So before going to the program, let me give a brief introduction of our esteemed institution, A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College for Women, which is situated in Tuticorin in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. So our institution was established with great freedom fighter, philanthropist, and educationist, Kulapati A.P.C. Virabhasa in 1973, with the aim of imparting education to women, especially underprivileged. We are proud to say that our institution functions on the basis of Gandhian principles and with service as the only motto, that is, without commercializing education. Now, the institution is functioning under the headship of our Honorable President, Sri A.P.C.Mahalaxmi Avargal, and Secretary Ma'am Srimati Subhadra, who, by following the principles of the founder, have enlightened the lives of numerous women folks all around the world. And since its inception, the college has grown in leaps and bounds and is nearing its golden jubilee. With these few words of introduction, let me now invite our respected principal, Dr. N. Meena Kumari, who is the backbone behind every achievement of our institution. Ma'am, please.
Good morning to one and all. Gathered for this international virtual conference on research and education reforms in the 21st century in association with Cape Forum, Utrust, Universities, AL, Azaria, Mandar, Indonesia, and yes, you can International, UK. First of all, I thank the God Almighty for this great occasion. At this juncture, I show my sincere gratitude to our Honorable President, Sri A.P.C.V. Chakalingam, and our beloved Secretary, Madam Srimati Subhadra Chakalingam, for their motivation and support throughout this conference. Under their able support, we continue to march on the way of success with confidence. It's a great honor and privilege to invite the guest speakers, Dr. Mutmaina, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, University, AL, Azaria, Mandar, Indonesia. Dr. Queen Elizabeth, President, yes, you can International, United Kingdom. Mr. Mohammed Zubair, Assistant Professor in Special Education, Assistant Professor at Jamia Millia Islamia, Delhi, India. Dr. Subhadra, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Pioneer, Kumarasamy College, Nagargoil. Founder President, Cape Forum, U Trust, Tamil Nadu, India. My heartfelt welcome to all the participants and paper presenters for this conference. I am very happy to inform that more than 200 abstracts are received for this conference, and we are releasing the proceedings of the international conference also today. I would like to congratulate the convener, Dr. Samadishwari, secretaries, Dr. Balaji Barasi, and Dr. Yogeswari Vidya, Dr. Lily Golda, coordinator, internal quality assurance cell of our college, and team members of IKC for this immeasurable efforts and hard work behind the success of this international conference. Reforms in education and research are inevitable in current scenario. So we have joined together, share our expertise in that fields, and hope it will be the great platform to discuss the reforms needed for the future of research and education. Once again, I will extend my warm welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite our beloved coordinator of internal quality assurance cell, Dr. T. Lily Golda, to introduce the theme of this conference. Ma'am, please.
Warm greetings and welcome to all the dignitaries and the participants of this virtual international conference. The ultimate goal of every educational intervention is to help enable students to achieve their fullest potential. Where education reform once focused on inputs, it now focuses on outputs, mainly student achievement. There is an urgent call to high standards, accountability, active learning, community service, lifelong learning, and character education as well. Education reform comprises any planned changes in the way any institution functions, right from teaching methodologies to administrative processes. The education policies and reforms in the sector plan in this decade focus on innovation and better use of technology to bring change. Over the last 10 years, Indian education policy and reforms emphasized on overcoming challenges to improve low enrollment ratio in higher education, low quality of teaching and learning, constraints on research capacity and innovation, uneven growth and access to learning opportunities, etc. So efforts are being taken to address issues such as funding and governance, quality assurance to strengthen educational institutions. In the research domain also, we can see that India is lagging behind. We have to admit the fact. Our universities and colleges lack a multidisciplinary approach to stimulate inquiry-based research skills. Absence of a proper framework for developing industry linkages with academia and to promote research is a further limiting faculty further limiting the faculty and students to work in this area. So these limitations are also restricting Indian institutions to come up in the global rankings. These overarching challenges in higher education are duly addressed. Similarly, a lot more initiatives have been taken in the last 10 years to provide equal opportunities of access to quality education. Some of them are the Swayam MOOC portal, then enrollment in NDL or the National Digital Library, then UBA, and teaching importance to teaching, learning, capacity building programs by the Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Smart India Hackathon Initiative, which promotes out of the box thinking, NIRF, and the E-Pathshala, which is a wide resource for all the students. Then, however, all these changes have not been easy to bring. Efficient implementation has always remained a key challenge in all policy reforms in India. So the education system of the 21st century needs to preserve our ancient culture and instill a sense of greater responsibility and social values in our children. It should reflect profound impact and inspiration to all education systems of the world, particularly in and around the region. The main focus of educational reforms in India should be on enhancing the job skills of our students. It will help develop a nation too. Of course, this transformation will require collective support from schools, colleges, academicians, intellectuals, educationists, and other people from society. By making some fundamental shifts in the implementation process, we can easily achieve better results. By implementing these basic changes, the Indian education system can be radically reformed to regain its glorified legacy of a global place of learning and knowledge. So this is a pertinent issue, reforms in education and research, when we consider the implementation of NEP 2020. Hence, this international conference with 3 collaborating agencies has materialized. And on this day, we hope to get knowledge from the resourceful resource persons on research and education reforms in the 21st century. Wishing the program all success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are happy to announce that we have received 350 registrations, 209 abstracts, and 117 persons are going to present papers. Now it is the time to release the proceedings. So before going to the technical session, a few words about education. Education is the weapon which you can use to change the world. These are the words of Dr. Nelson Mandela, who is the father of nation of South Africa. We are living in an age of information technology, which demands well-educated professional workforce with knowledge, creativity, and innovativeness. Almost all the countries are bringing out reforms in education to make youth to achieve holistic development. I am sure that today's conference on education and research reforms in the 21st century would be an eye-opener to all the participants to acquire knowledge about educational reforms in various disciplines, with special reforms to reference to national education policy and importance of research in an educational system, which is blended with traditions and innovation. We have with us 4 eminent personalities from all over the world. It is Dr. Mutmaina from Indonesia, Dr. Queen Elizabeth from United Kingdom, Dr. Subhadra from Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu, and Dr. Mohammed Zubair, Delhi, who are going to quench your thirst for knowledge. And at this point, I should acknowledge the effort and initiatives taken by Dr. S. Kamundishwari, Assistant Professor of PG and Research Department of Commerce and member of IQAC, for arranging this international conference in association with Universitas Al Azharia Mandar, Indonesia, SUCAN International, United Kingdom, Cave Forum, Utrecht, Tamil Nadu. And now I am happy to invite Dr. Radha, Assistant Professor of PG and Research Department of Mathematics and member of IQAC, to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Mutmaina of Indonesia. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon from Indonesia. Namaste. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me and invite me. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to the A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College for Women, internal quality assurance in association with Universitas Al Azhar Mandar, Yes You Can International, and then the Cape Forum. So today we are in this forum, International Virtual Conference, our topic about research and education, reforms in the 21st century. Thank you so much to all of the organizing committee, Dr. Subhadra for inviting me, Madam Lily Golda, the principal RPCM, Dr. Pachitra, Dr. Anista, Professor Dr. Elizabeth. I know you are here. Good morning, Prof. Dr. Zubair. Thank you so much. Allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Mutmaina. You can call me Nina. I am lecturer in the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education at my university, Universitas Al Azhar Mandar. This honor for me. We are organized this collaboration between India, Indonesia, and United Kingdom. This is some of my national and international organization, and also my research ID. So feel free to cite and read my research over there. Yeah, today I want to share to you about playing artificial intelligence and virtual reality to pursue the 21st century skill. This is based on my research actually in this semester, and then this article actually I have submitted to the Hindawi journal and under revision right now. Today, our menu, we are going to discuss and talk about why we do need 21st century skill, instructional design, aggregate into blended learning, and investigating human-computer interaction in the classroom. All of these will be support to pursue the 21st century skill, and then what should we do in the classroom to support the student to have this skill, the 21st century skill. So the first topic about why we do need 21st century skill. This is about right now, our education sector, we are accelerating digital transformation, everything right now, Internet of Things, and by the Internet. Based on my opinion, my interpretation, and then my observation during these 2 years, I divided into the 5 highlight issue based on education sector. The first one about injected artificial intelligence in education. And by this software, I know we are familiar with this software, and then we have get so many benefits from this software. Education transformation, yeah, we are familiar right now with remote teaching, virtual classroom, distance education, and then about the, we must be adapt with the new habit, new culture, information, communication, and technology culture. So based on this situation, this condition, our education transformation right now, we must be redesign our curriculum. Like in Indonesia, our Ministry of Education and Culture to face this digital transformation condition, the ministry launching the new policy in education, namely independent learning and independent campus. So injected technology or infused hybrid or blended learning environment. Actually, this is right now, we are totally familiar and then practice this hybrid or blended learning environment. So the student can be choose what is the strategy that we are wanna be used in our teaching and learning process, maybe by hybrid or by blended learning itself. So infuse smart digital classroom management. Also, this is about how we are manage our virtual classroom. But this is not only about when we are in the smart digital classroom management, like we are in the online learning by using LMS, for example. But totally, this is about how we are designing everything. We are prepare our content, our teaching method, and also we can be choose the technology of the tools to engage more the student in the classroom. So this is for smart digital classroom management to make more practice in your to designing your management classroom. I covering with the triple quantum, namely quantum learning, quantum teaching, and then quantum technology. I think this is a very important because right now in the quantum learning, the way we are learning, we must change. So in the quantum teaching, the way we are teaching, we must change. And also we are incorporate the technology in our learning and teaching process. So right now we are mobile learning, and then we are supporting digitally and also accelerated this learning, digital learning right now. This is not again talk about, this is the relation between only between the student and the teacher, but also this is have impact to the parent, the administrator, and the staff in the school or university. For the cyberpedagogy, this is one of the theory if you wanted to combine between pedagogy and the technology, but actually this is not only about the technology and pedagogy itself. How we are right now support the student to increase their skill, namely metacognitive skill. This is the metacognitive skill actually will be help the student to pursue the 20% skill, like our topic today. So digital vaccine, we are in the society 5.0, and then also our education, we are in the evolution of education industry revolution 4.0. The ways the student thinking, and also we are as educators, the way we are thinking must be into the creativity and doing innovation and also collaboration and teamwork. So the meaning of the 21st century skill, I know that we are totally agree about right now. This is about the 21st century skill. This is referred to the skill, work habit, character, and also about we are doing reformation in our institution, in our university, in our school. And then this is a very important about the how we are transformation everything, because we are right now connected globally. Everything is open, and then this is actually also refer to the skill how we are facilitate everything in the classroom to support the student, the soft skill, the 21st century skill. So for the easy to understand and remember the classification, the 21st century skill, actually this is divided into three about the learning skill. This is we must be how in the learning skill, how we are support the student, increase their communication, doing collaboration, critical thinking, to be creative, and also computational thinking in the classroom. Because we are as educators, we are designers, so we must be designing all of the activities in the classroom to support the student learning skills. And literacy skill, information literacy, media literacy, and the technology literacy. Right now, Indonesia condition, we are very low in this literacy skill, and also learning skill, and also life skill. Unfortunately, we are still low, so that's why our to solve this problem, our Ministry of Education launching so many programs to support and to facilitate all of the educators with this skill, learning skill, literacy skill, and the life skill itself. We need 21st century skill. Yeah, the supporting idea about why we need this 21st century skill, because yeah, we must reform, and then we know that the learning or education, this is the holistic process. This is not only about transfer knowledge. Our responsibility as educator, as a teacher, or as a lecturer is done. But in this education, we have another responsibility, how we are as educators developing the student character, the student behavior, the student attitude, the value, the moral, and many more, the soft skill itself. Yeah, actually this is related to the condition today, how we are totally support them into the 21st century skill. And also this is related to the experience of the number of the student feeling. They must be grow and develop, and also they have responsible as a human being. They have control to the school, to the family, to the society, and to the nation, our nation itself. Yeah, we understand the 21st century skill, and this is divided into three, and then how the triple here, learning skill, literacy skill, and the life skill, we can formulate into our learning activities. So this is just only the example. If we wanted to pursue the 21st century skill for the student, we understanding, and then we must be have classification based on their age. This is, for example, the student age between 14 until 18. The dimension of self, we must help them. This is about understanding and accepting self. The core skill, like, for example, like self-awareness, decision-making, problem-solving, managing emotion, and empathy. So related to the 21st century skill, this is referred about to the social skill, the critical thinking, the creative thinking, they're doing communication, and also sharing about information, and use the technology or media literacy. So come back to the learning outcome. This will be, we can formulate our learning outcome, like related to the various experience to growing up, to how we support them to have the contribution to to contribute to development their core skill and 21st century skill. So this is some of the mapping in this table. You can see like managing and expressing self or enhancing self. So different age, different dimension of self. So as educator, we must know and understanding everything these core skill and 21st century skill. So if you are, how we are analyze and understand if we are implementation the 21st century skill in our learning and teaching process or in our academic activities. Maybe I can be claim that, yeah, I am the educator, I am the 21st century skill educator. So how we can be identified that you are totally actually implementation in the classroom and you are can be analyzed all of your students, they are totally have this skill, they have experience with this 21st century skill. I divided into three, in academic, in the social, and in civic. For example, communication. This is the very important skill, actually doing communication with clarity, focus, and consideration with the audience. Like in my classroom, for example, I handle 40 students and only 3 students in the classroom or 7 students, they are very active in the doing communication in the classroom. So what happened with 33 students? What should we do to solve their problem? They don't wanna to speak in the classroom in front of their friend. So to solve this problem in my situation, I asked them to speak by using their smartphone and record their performance, and also they are uploaded into their YouTube account. So all of the students, they are doing communication with each other. So number 2, demonstrate the ability to solve problem using the higher order thinking, reasoning skill, utilize technology in their communication. So this is, for example, by using YouTube or by using our smartphone, they record their speaking. This is actually covered in academic criteria. So social, how in the classroom we are building up their teamwork, they are working in the teamwork, doing collaboration, doing discussion in the classroom. So the last in the civic, I think this is in Indonesia, still we have so many challenges with this in the civic criteria, how we are support the student or educator itself to participate as a member of local, global, and digital society. Maybe for local community, I think they are still low category if we are identify about this in civic. So, we have responsibilities to support them with doing this collaboration. Yeah, because the collaboration and building up the teamwork, this is one of the skill 21st century skill. So this is the 5 cases that 21st century skill and behavior that the teacher need to think to pursue the 21st century skill of the student. Learning is no longer a solo activities anymore. The teacher is no longer the only person in teaching. And we understanding right now learning is no longer the passive. How we are designing our activities in the classroom with the active, to make them more engaged and active in the classroom. Yeah, we know there are so many benefits when we are integrate or incorporate the technology in education, but mostly in Indonesia, totally there are so many educators, they are in the comfortable zone. They are still doing their teaching method by using conventional or teacher-centered learning approach. So instructional design aggregate to blended learning. This is the second topic. Why we must choose the instructional design, because this is the very important point if you wanna to developing your material, developing your activities in the classroom to support or to help your student with this global condition and have this 21st century skill. Yeah, maybe we are come back to the learning theory itself, the teaching theory itself, and also we must choose what is actually our grounded theory before we are going to developing our material and designing our activities in the classroom. So one of the instructional design that I want to share to you, actually this is my experience when I use this Assure model. Assure, this is the acronym actually developed by Heinrich and Melinda. And then the Assure, this is the acronym from analyze student characteristic, state the objective, select media method material, utilize media material, require learner participation, and then in the end of the semester, we gonna be doing the reflection. But the main point in this Assure, we are developing our material, we are designing our activities based on the student want, the student need, and the student lack, not from the teacher or educator one. This is the unique one from this research and methodology, R&D, research and development methodology in education. So remember, maybe in before we are entering our semester, actually we are prepare everything. We are prepare our syllabus, we are prepare our material, our lesson plan without asking the student what they want, what they need, and identify what is their low competence or their lack. So in my experience, because I'm always doing this, I practice this Assure before we are entering the semester, or maybe we are entering the semester, but in the first semester, in the first meeting, I ask my student, we are doing the discussion, what is the material they want, what is they need, so what is their lack. We are doing discussion, or we can give them a Google form, a questionnaire to identify their learning style, for example. Like in my university, most of the students, they are very happy by learning by online, by WhatsApp. And then they are in the visual learning style category. So we must prepare our material, our activities by this based on the student learning style. Maybe another class, for example, if you are have a 3 class, and you must identify what is all of this class, their learning style before you are designing your material. But remember, the material, the activities, everything still connected with our curriculum, So the example, if you wanted to design your material, like before I have shared to you about the instructional design, the learning theory, for example, you can choose control-civics theory or project-based learning approach. And then the activities, you can organize your activities in the classroom by using this one of the theory from Gagnon and even instructional design, and also how all of this will be connected into the student higher order thinking skill, doing creativity and doing innovation related to the Bloom taxonomy in education aspect. Education, one of the method or the technique, if you wanted to engage your student 21st century skill, like by using edutainment, education and entertainment, or funtainment concept, fun activities, education and entertainment. Like by using games or by using film, or you can incorporate the technology in your learning and teaching process. But remember, if you wanted to use the technology, you must choose the right action, the right activities, and the right tool. Because, for example, in the classroom, we just ask them, the student, like ask them to, for example, to remember, to doing summarize. Okay, this is the, before we are closing our meeting, I'm asking you to do summarize based on our material today. If you ask them with this action, and with this action, actually your category, your activities category in this remember and understand totally this is in the lower order thinking skill. So to support the student 21st century skill doing innovation, doing creativity, you must in this action, you must in these activities, you cannot be asked them how to design. I want to ask you before we are closing, you must design your blah, blah, blah. This is come back again. What is your subject, your teaching subject? So your activities, you can ask them to video editing, to video recording, and then you can choose one of the tools. So remember, this is the very important to understanding about the Bloom taxonomy from the lower order thinking skill into the higher order thinking skill, because the higher order thinking skill, this is related to the have connection, have strong connection to the higher order thinking skill, to the 21st century skill, doing creativity, doing innovation. And also this is, we come back again, this is our revolution industry. Yeah, we are going to 5.0 right now. So this is my article. Actually, I have, you can download it in my research get. This is my article published on a magazine. And also I have a research that actually by using containment, I have published. And you can be a site and read my research like this. I designing my material with the variety material, like you see here by consignment in my classroom. In the first meeting I use a YouTube film. In the second meeting I use game. In the next meeting I use song. That so many variety in our learning and teaching process to make them more engaged. And they believe when I share my questionnaire, most of the students believe and have positive response about this is consignment have impact for their core skill, because they are doing communication. Every meeting, they must record themselves, and also they are doing collaboration, they are building their teamwork, their group, and critical thinking, and doing creativity or innovation. They are designing their video, and then they are sharing their opinion, their argumentation, and record themselves and edit the video and upload it into the YouTube. So the last about an investigating human-computer interaction in the classroom. This is a very important. Actually, when we are use some of the tools and device by using the internet, computer, actually, yeah, we are totally understand the student characteristic, because right now they are the Gen Z, they are familiar with the technology, they are born digital. So that's why we must change the way we are teaching. And we know our students, their characteristic, they are different with us. So we must accept and teach differently. So we must teaching based on their characteristic, what is they want, what is they need, and also we must identify what is they lack to increase their competence or their skill. So this is the student characteristics. So we must understanding before we are going to, so we must understanding why we are change the way we are teaching, because the student characteristics, they are very different like today. So human-computer interaction, actually everything when we are doing this by computer device, like social use, teaching use, actually we are implementation this human-computer as we are doing interaction with the machine. So for the example, by using artificial intelligence or by using virtual reality that I will be shared to you. So how this is the connection with my subject, because I'm teaching English, I'm teaching language in my my classroom. This is come back to the theory of computer-assisted language learning, and also the computer-mediated communication for language learning. This is the grand theory of the we use this artificial intelligence or virtual reality in our activities to pursue the student 21st century skill. So let's have a look the supporting idea about the 21st century skill. This is about the cognitive behavior, the student cognitive behavior and human behavior. We understand right now about the student cognitive level behavior, like their perception, their attention, their memory attention, their knowledge, their mental model of learning, and also about their behavior to doing the productivity and performance. So emotion, yeah, that's why the very important how we can be create the student or connect to the student emotion to make them more engaged in our classroom. So make them happy, they will be more engaged in your classroom. When they are fun and happy in learning, they will be totally reduce their anxiety, they in confident. Maybe most of the students, they are not confident. Like in my classroom case, when I'm asking the student why you don't want to speak your ideas, because yeah, mostly they are not confident to share, to doing the communication with their friend. But when they are talking with machine like artificial intelligence friend, they are very confident. I don't know. They are mostly comfortable when they are talking with their machine friend or artificial intelligence friend than more better than their physical friend. Maybe this is, of course, us here. This is happening with us. We are really comfortable with doing communication with another friend by using WhatsApp or by Facebook or Messenger, more better than our physical friend. This is when I ask my student why this happening. Yeah, they don't know, because they are very show their expression. They're more free when they are with another person. I don't know, but this is based on my research. So this is the example of my result. The result of my research, my study about artificial intelligence and virtual reality that I have shared to you. Actually, a totally have positive response from my student. And maybe for the next, you can I will share to you the link of this Google form, this questionnaire. You can also share to your student. I will share to you the VR platform link and the virtual reality link, artificial intelligence link. You can practice also in your classroom and use this questionnaire to identify the response. Yeah. So this is my student project that, when I asking them in the classroom, they are not confident to speak, but when they are in YouTube, you can see the way they are doing communication, very expressive. Yeah. This is the example. Yeah. So they are doing creativity. They are explaining about dinosaurs, for example. This is from virtual reality. They are totally very expressive to speak in front of their camera or smartphone. This is more better than they are doing in the classroom. I don't know, but this is the fact. Yeah. They are doing this creativity. So the second, let me check. They are building team. They are teamwork.
Back again. My name is Nur Aini and my project in virtual reality.
If you see that they are very excellent in this video, but actually if you ask them to presenting in the classroom, in the face-to-face, they are not like this, what you see here. I don't know, but this is happening. This is happening. But totally most of the students, they are very expressive when they are doing this creativity. I don't know. Maybe you can do or investigate this condition with your in your class or in your university.
topic like
Actually,
bells,
I am
which
surprising
were needed to
when they
balance
are
the
when
weight of
I
the language.
when
From the
I
nose,
corrected their
plant
project.
eaters,
There are
the legs, they were
8
slow-moving
video
creatures
they must
because of
upload it.
their weight.
Very interesting, but
Visual
in the
laptops
classrooms, I don't know what is happening, but this is fact. So this is in the classroom in face to face. I use this artificial intelligence actually to increase their 21st century skill, but totally the result of my study here, how to say, if the student have high critical thinking skill, actually everything the skill will be following, like communication, like collaboration and creativity. I don't know, but the main point of this 21st century skill based on my study here, this is about the critical thinking. So if the student have a high critical thinking skill, the another skill will be following. This is happening in my classroom. This is artificial intelligence. I told you before, they are very active, busy when they are talking with their machine friend, more better than we are talking, doing English, their English communication with their physical friend. When I interview, most of them, they answering, I'm more totally expressing my English with my machine or my artificial intelligence friend, because when I'm talking with my physical friend, maybe they will be do so many correction with my speed. So that's why they are very comfortable with the machine, because the machine but not doing the correction like grammatical, for example. So this is the example by using this artificial intelligence. And also after they are doing communication with their friend, they will be sharing in the front of the classroom, they will be sharing their knowledge. Yeah, you see that they are one by one go ahead to the whiteboard to write everything. Most of them, they are totally active. So by virtual reality, actually this is the activities I asking them in my classroom before the student recording themselves, like you see the video before. Actually this is their activities, and then they will be, after they are playing with the virtual reality in the classroom, they must share what is their experience by using this virtual reality by recording themselves. So this is actually the first step. So the secondly, they will be doing the sharing their knowledge by using video. Building up the teamwork, actually we are implementation in this meeting. But you know, the first thing to do, actually the critical thinking. If the student have this good or excellent critical thinking, they will be have impact to their communication, to their creativity, and to their collaboration. So I share my experience when I wanted to help my student to pursue their 21st century skill. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Maybe
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving an informative presentation about the 21st century skills, which the employers demand, like literary skills, learning skills, life skills, critical thinking skills, and the methods and pedagogy you follow, like assured model, digital pedagogy, fundamentals, followed by you in your classrooms in order to make students more engaged in classroom. Of course, we really accept the fact that to keep our students more engaged in classroom, we have to understand and find out the needs and wants of the students first. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable speech. Thank you. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Baladiba Arasi, Now I invite Dr. D. Radha, Assistant Professor of Mathematics and member of IQAC, to propose a vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you so much for the mesmerizing and enthusiastic presentation on the topic education in the 21st century, ma'am, especially narrating about the learning skill, literacy skills, life skills that are more important, which plays a great role in the great success of the younger generation. The role of IC to be inherited, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, confidence, that are also which are most necessary in today's life because of the rapid change society and economy. Education system to be integrated with technology that stand nowadays yet. Simply teaching tutors and learning for exams will not be paving a successful and fruitful platform to our students. Respected madam, the way you explain the necessity and importance of the revolution to be undertaken in the education system, I assure you that this session provides a thought-provoking and creative thinking among the participants. We are very glad to reach with such an eminent speaker, outstanding professor, best international influencer, best emerging professor, SDGs warrior, best global outstanding educational innovator as a resource person in this country. On behalf of IQAC A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College, I feel privileged and honored to register our gratitude towards the energetic and informative presentation. Also, I thank all our participants those who have joined over here. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Baladeva Arasi, Assistant Professor of PG and Research Department of Mathematics and member of IQAC, to introduce our next guest speaker, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, who is going to give a talk on reforms in management and education. Ma'am, please. Dr. Bala.
Good morning to all. Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning to everyone present here. I'm Dr. Baladeepa, member IQAC and Assistant Professor of Mathematics, A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College for Women, Thuthukudi. It's my great privilege to introduce and welcome the resource person of the second technical session, Dr. Elizabeth Lucas. Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Alfa-Lalu, known as Queen of Inspiration and Global African Queen, is an inspirational speaker and radio presenter. He did her bachelor degree in business and management in University of Northumberland, UK. She has received the honorary Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling from Global Light Institute, Bible University, Nigeria. Honorary Doctor of Social Work from UNRS and Honorary Doctor of Humanity from DPRMI, BPPKE. She is the Honorary Professor and Counselor at International Internship University. She is the award-winning author recognized by Greatness University as an author of greatness. She is also an advisor, advocator, and mentor to youth welfare cultivation and many international NGOs or organizations. She is the CEO of Yes You Can International, Elizabeth Creations, Docomus Limited, and YYCI Magazine. She has been featured on many media platforms. She holds a bachelor degree in business and management from University of Northumberland, UK. She has delivered so many lectures in reputed organizations. Yes, she is the right person to be as a resource person for us. We are waiting for your talk regarding reforms in management and into education, ma'am. On behalf of our management, principal and internal quality assurance cell, I welcome you, ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bella Deppa. Did I get that one right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning from United Kingdom. It's morning here, and I think it's around evening, afternoon in Indonesia, India, wherever you are. Greetings to you from United Kingdom. I want to seize this opportunity to greet my wonderful professor, Dr. Munaya. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to Dr. Subhadra for always be on my case to make sure that I'm here today. Thank you for reminding me all the time and I really appreciate that. I want to also appreciate our Dr. Suba from India. I'm looking forward to listening to your motivative messages. And I also want to say I've really enjoyed this teaching by Dr. Mina. That was a great, I'm always looking forward because I learn every day and learning is living. So I want to say thank you for this creative presentation, informative and descriptive. Thank you so much for your presentation. All protocol observed. I recognize the presence of our great resource speaker, our dignity, and also our participants. I also want to congratulate the success of organizing this international virtual conference on research and education reform in 21st century. I want to express my gratitude to Dr. Mina again and Dr. Subhadra for this opportunity given to me to share education of this great platform, and also to our great moderators. I also want to acknowledge the organizers and the collaborators, the Mahalaxmi College for Women, the University Asaria Mada from Indonesia, Yes You Can International, of course, from United Kingdom, and Cape Forum You Trust, India. Well done for this collaboration. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for involving us as well. Working together with a great mission to reform our educational system. Firstly, let me explain briefly the word reform in my own simple way. Reform is to correct the system, to make it better, to improve or amend what is not working again, that brings unsatisfaction, poor performances, bored, unnecessary application, and inaccurate and inconsistency. So, reform management is when we decentralize decision-making, simplify and streamline policy and procedures and curriculum in education, and strengthening the accountability and transparency. So therefore, reform education and management is very important to bring changes in our education system. Before I go any further, let me share briefly what types of management styles of education. We have the autocratic, which is commanding management, following the policy of one person. You know, one person to be the leader, and we are all following his policy. So it's normally called my own way of leadership. So we are all following. Either we have our own ideas or other procedures, or we want to bring some new things on the table. The fact that the management style is autocratic, we can't really share that. So it does give ways to, or it doesn't give ways to others to share or to participate or to involve. It's all on one man-made leadership and decision. Democratic is another way. There is equal say to build commitments, organizing and consensus among the team members. This involves all the team members to make decisions. You know, they share their own opinions, their own ideas, because as you can believe with me, that nobody knows it all and nobody is perfect. So this innovation involves decision-making, and it is motivational leadership and opportunity to share our ideas. This is another way of management, and it is by collaborating, like we are all doing here today, is collaborating, because we gather together to organize this meeting so that we can all share our ideas of how we can reform education. So democracy, for me, is also very important. Another one is visionary, to mobilize people towards achieving a goal. I believe that as a great education leader, we have a motive, and the common motive for us is to share, to have a vision, and for us to work towards that goal, to be persuasive, to be charisma, and to be inspirational, so that we can all work together and also meet up the goal. And we can all do it together. And I believe it's very important, especially in this 21st century. Another management style is people first and task second. That means we need to build ourselves as a team, build our relationship, because without relationship, there will be no understanding. And without understanding, it's like sometimes we might go wrong, or sometimes we might really understand the task, or sometimes we don't exhibit our skills within the period. So that is why we need to build our relationship to know one another, to know our skills, to know our strength, to know our experts, to know where we are good at when it comes to management. So it is very important. And this kind of management, it also creates harmony within the organization. And this can have a positive impact on the works in our environment, in the works environment. So let's move forward. What are the management area of education that we need to reform? The first one is theory. We need to reform the theory of what management of education is all about. We need to reassess it, rewrite it, and also simplify it for everyone to understand. Because you can believe with me that sometimes I have worked in so many offices, even in schools as well as the school governor. And sometimes most of all these theories and policies and laws, we don't understand, because it's not being simplified for everyone to understand it. And it is what you understand that you apply. And then you produce good quality performances. So it is very important. Then the second one is principle and policy, like what I've said before. We need to break it down for each one of us to understand it, and also for us to rewrite it in our own way of understanding things. And the concept of the management and education is also another one. Techniques being used, which is necessary. We need to assess it. I mean, take for instance, we are in a technology world, and a lot of things. I mean, look at what Professor Mina has demonstrated for us today. You can see that so many skills there to integrate. So we need to understand, and we also need to make sure that all these techniques are available to be used, because it might be available in Dr. and Professor Nina's school. It might not be available in other schools. So we need to add more funding to all these things to be available for more schools, because what they have, I mean, in this time of technology, if you don't introduce it well and train them to understand it, they cannot enjoy it. And that is where you see students being frustrated. That is where you see teachers also being demotivated. So it's very important that we assess it and we use it, and we also make it available for all schools. Development of new skills, most especially the technology and the different ways of approaching it. First of all, let me tell you something. Technology is new to many of us, and we have to be motivated to be able to adapt to it and learn it. Technology is not easy, to be honest with you. It takes motivation, it takes encouragement and determination to be able to get it. And even while you are getting it, sometimes it might go wrong. The connectivity might be bad, So that is why we need to be patient, we need to be determined, and we need to be able to encourage both our students and our teachers to be able to do it. So there must be enough of motivation and also mentoring. Another thing is strategy. Yes, we place a strategy, but then the strategy can be the one that we have set up maybe 100 years ago. That is where mindset is very important. We need to change our mindset. We need to grow our mindset in order to adapt to this new strategy. New strategy needs to be laid here now, and it is not tomorrow. So we need to make sure that we have a new strategy that is working in this 21st century in our education system. Then the next one is human resources, people's management. We need to really emphasize on that, because it's one thing to put the policy there, it's another thing to put the technology, all these techniques and all this computer and all this, but it's good. But then we need to involve people. So we need to make sure that people's management is being taught properly. And when we say human resources, we are talking of different kinds of things that I'm going to talk about it finally later. So human resources is also one of the things that we need to reform in our management and education. Supervisory and mentoring is very important. We need to have mentorship program in the school, especially in this 21st century. Things are getting tougher and difficult and harder. But where the motivation is there, where the mentoring is there, we can help our students and we can also help our teachers, because it's not easy road when it comes to embracing the new technology, new system, new strategy, new policy, new curriculum. So that's where we need supervision, and we also need mentoring. And then also time management. I mean, teachers cannot do it all. So we need to put in place our time management. Sometimes, especially in this 21st century, we are being carried away with paperwork, and not really applying the real thing. And that is where and the teachers are frustrated, teachers are being tired, because we do all this policy, paperwork, and at the end of it all, we have limited time for our students. Very important that we balance our time management. So to reform education and management is to change, to improve, to amend, and to correct, to change or remove a fault, to put an end to a policy and curriculum that doesn't work anymore, especially in this our 21st century. And adapt to change, especially with this technology world. So reform is to put into a new and improve the form or the condition, to restore the former good state, to bring form back, to reform from bad to good, from worse to better. And yes, we can do it. We have the ability, we have the skills, and we are intelligent as a teacher. So to amend and to correct and to change to become something different. Sometimes we will need to bring new things into the system and educate ourselves and also guide our students to understand the application. Now, how do we reform management and education? It's a good question. We make a change to the rules, the laws, the regulations, the curriculums, the policy, and to embrace the new norm. We need to add, we need to rigid it, reposition this position of education, and reposition ourselves as a leader. To educate and simplify the procedure, like I've said before, and the curriculum. The curriculum needs to be changed, sorry. We need to add new to it and remove some old stuff that doesn't work for us anymore. In the olden days, there's so many things, skills that people have developed, but does it fit into employment now? No. That is why we see a lot of educated children not getting a job, because what they have taught them might not be resonant with what the employer need at this time. So that is why we need to change the curriculum and the policy. So it's very important. And to address the problem we are facing that is occurring every time in education, we need to start looking at all these problems, because if the problems are not being solved and they're escalating every day, then there will be poor performances, unsatisfaction, and even inaccuracy. So we need to revisit and address some issues relating to human resources management, people's management. They are very important. And some of the issues might be working condition, wages and salary and incentive. Is it suitable? Do we need to increase it so that we can motivate our teachers? So that, because our teachers also are mothers, they are parents, they are fathers, and they will have enough to feed their family. Is it enough? We also need to look into people's value and training. Are we appreciating what they are doing? Are we recognizing their skills they are putting on the table? And are we adding more value to them? Because it's very important. More training needs to be done. Because somebody's been educated 10 years ago doesn't mean it doesn't need training. Here in United Kingdom, they so much appreciate and embrace that training that irrespective of degree you have, you still need to be training, upgrading yourself, and updating what you have. So training is the key factor. We need to keep learning, keep renewing our mindset, and keep doing it better or perform well in school. Time management, like I said before, we need to look into it, how the time we are given to the teachers to teach and the time we are giving them to prepare for what they need to teach is very important, because if you don't spend more time with these children for them to understand what you are teaching them, they might miss it or even forget most of what is being taught. And at the end of it all, they will not look at education as a better place or as a better things for them to do for the future. We are the one to lead them the way. We are the ones to motivate them. We are the one to mentor them. We are the one to guide them to the future. So that is why time management is very important, that we spend more time with the student more than paperwork. I will round up with this statement from Michael X. He says, education is our passport and to the future. For tomorrow, we belong to the people who prepares it today. So we need to reform the management and education now, right now. Carl Bertram stated that they may forget what you said, but they will not forget how you made them feel. So it is so important for us to spend quality time with our students and quality time with our teachers to add value to them and also to appreciate and celebrate all the achievement and all the hard work they are doing. Former President Barack Obama said, change will not come if we are waiting for some other person or some other time. We are the one we've been waiting for to make that change. So therefore, to conclude, we are the one to reform the management and education in this 21st century. We are the one, and yes, we can. We can do it together. We can adapt to this change. We can make our education system to be more better, to learn and to teach. Quality education matters. Quality performance matters. And yes, we can. Let us reform it together. Dr. Elizabeth Lucas from Yes You Can International, United Kingdom. Thank you so much for inviting me. May God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Bala Deeparasi to propose vote of thanks for this session. Dr. Bala, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your thought-provoking speech about the topic reforms in education and reforms in management. And really, this is a new topic for us. It's a really interesting topic one. Thanks to all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bala. I am happy to invite Dr. V. Shyamala Susan, Head and Assistant Professor of PG, Department of Computer Science and member of IQAC, to introduce our next guest speaker, Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai, who is going to give a talk on reforms in education and research with special reference to National Education Policy 2020. And at this junction, I would like to mention that Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai is not new to our institution. She has already been a resource person to one of the sessions organized by our institution's Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Cell of our college. Now I invite Dr. Susan ma'am to introduce our chief guest. Ma'am, please.
Good morning, everybody. It's great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker, Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai, founder president of the Trust U Trust at Kanyakumari. Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai, presently working as an assistant professor of commerce in Pioneer Kumarasamy College, Nagarkoil. She has 18 years of teaching and administrative experience in schools, colleges, and NGOs. Having research articles national and international level, and she has published 14 books. She is an NLP practitioner and psychologist, counselor, and a soft skills trainer. And she acted as a resource person for national and international seminars and conferences and had delivered several guest lectures for academic upliftment and community development. She has established the trust with a fivefold objective, that is research and development, skill development, female health and awareness, education and child development, and women empowerment. She actively involved in herself in social activities. An initiative towards the fivefold activities of the trust is her passion. She strongly believes that young people's education and empowerment could see the tremendous growth. Undoubtedly, they are the tomorrow's innovators, creators, and leaders. Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai has received many international and national awards for her outstanding performance in various fields. Some of the awards are International Brand Icon Award Star of the Year Award, International Leadership Award, Princess of Peace, Nelson Mandela Award, Asia Book of Record and India Book of Record, Amazing Award of Honor, Women Achiever Award, Young Educator and Scholar Award, and the list goes on. It's really proud for me to introduce such a versatile personality, and we are privileged to have an opportunity to listen to her this morning. On behalf of organizing team, I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful introduction about me. And I take this opportunity, a great opportunity and a privilege. First of all, the internal quality assurance cell of A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College. Let me confirm my PPT and I'm audible. Video, everything is fine? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's
and
everything.
My heartfelt thanks to the management and the principal of the college. And of course, our international collaborators, the Universitas Al-Azhar Yas Mandar, Indonesia, and SUCAN International United Kingdom, Madam Queen Elizabeth, and beloved professor from Jamila Millat University, Delhi, Mr. Mohammad Zubair. Thank you all for your acceptance to collaborate with us for the wonderful international conference which has been organized by A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College. In coming to the topic, so I'm not going for the PPT run weave. It is somewhat unsupportable option is there with the device. So I'll play like the same, as it is visible now. And of course, as you all know me as the founder president of Cape Forum Youth Trust, it also has a publication registered under Indian Trust Act, organizing several conferences, seminars, and other collaborations with national and international organizations in organizing educations, skill development, and female health and awareness, and so many women association related programs it's on. The topic which I need to justify is on the education and research part in the view of the new education policy 2020. So as in the introduction part, when the ma'am was addressing, she was rightly pointed out that this academy and industry collaboration and multidisciplinary approach in research, and that is going to be a gateway in new education policy. So with that connect, I wanted to give you some input on it. Like, as you all know, it took almost 3 decades to announce the much awaited new education policy 2020. And this education sector welcomed the new education policy, which provided a new path to the education system in India. It's on 1st May of 2020, new education policy has been brought to, its idea is brought forth. And the national education policy targets making India a global knowledge superpower. And the draft was set up by a board of experts driven by former Indian Space Research Organization Chief K. Kasturi Ranganji. This academy and industry collaborations, you know the term academy means, and organizations intended to protect and develop an art, science, languages, etc., or a school that teaches a particular subject or train people for a particular job. And industry, of course, is a public and private companies or other private and public education and training institutions. Collaboration in the sense, the process of 2 or more entities or organizations working together to complete a task, as we have collaborated for the conference now. And recently, the Union Commission of our country, Union Commission of the Cabinet has approved new education policy with an aim to introduce several changes in Indian education system from the school to college level. And it aims at making India as a global knowledge superpower. And the Cabinet has approved renaming of the Ministry of Human Resource Development to the Ministry of Education. And the NEP cleared by the Cabinet is only the 3rd major revamp of the framework of education in India since independence. And the 2 earlier education policy were brought in 1968 and 1986. And some of the key points which we wanted to mention in this presentation is about school education and few about the college education. If you look at the school education's point of view, universalizations, let me give a small glimpses on this. Universalization of education from school, preschool to secondary level with 100% cross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. And to bring 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream through an open schooling system. And the current 10+2 system will be replaced as a new 5+3+3+4 curricular structure, corresponding to the ages 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 respectively. And it will bring the uncovered age group of 3 to 6 years under school curriculum, which has been recognized globally as the crucial stage for development of mental faculties of a child. It will also have a 12-year schooling with 3 years of Anganwadi and as well as preschooling system. And the class 10 and 12 board examination will to be made easier to test core competencies rather than memorizing facts, with all students allowed to take the exam twice. They'll be given options again to rewrite the examinations. And of course, the school governance is set to change with the new accreditation framework and an independent authority to integrate both public and private schools. And some emphasis on foundational literacy and numeracy, and no rigid separations between the academic stream, extracurricular, vocational stream in schools. And some kind of things you can see in case of school education, where they give much importance to vocational activities rather than giving the stereotype learning of things. Vocational educations to start with class 6, and teaching up to at least grade 5 to be in mother tongue, the regional language, and no language will be imposed to any students. It is not stressed upon them. They'll be given option to learn on the regional language. And the assessment reforms with 360-degree holistic progress card, tracking students' progress for achieving learning outcomes. And the new comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education, that is NCFTE 2021, will be formulated by the National Council for Teacher Education in consultation with National Council of Education Research and Training. And coming to some of the scope of the learning in higher educations, like gross enrollment ratio in the higher education to be raised by 50% by 2035. Also, 3.5 crore seats to be added in the higher education. And the current enrollment ratio, that GER, in higher education is 26.3% only. And this holistic undergraduate education with the flexible curriculum can be of 3 or 4 years with multiple exit options and appropriate certification within this period. And the MPhil courses will be discontinued. It was given in the NEP and it is discontinued now. As you all know, it is already on force. The MPhil course is discontinued, and all the courses, undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD, will be interdisciplinary. That is the greatest opportunity we can say. And academic bank of credits is established to facilitate transfer of credit. The multidisciplinary education research and research universities, that MERUs at par with IIM and IITs, to be set up as the models of best multidisciplinary educations of global standards in the country. And this NRF is the APEX, is going to be APEX body for fostering a strong research culture and building a research capacity across higher education. This HECI will be set up, that is Higher Education Commission of India. That will be set as a single umbrella for body for the entire higher education, excluding medical and legal education. And public and private higher education institutions will be governed by the same set of norms for regulation, accreditations, and academic standards. Also, this HECI will be having 4 independent verticals, namely this 4.1, this GC, that is the Higher Education Grant Council for funding, General Education Council, that is for standard setting, and National Accreditation Council, that is previously, now we are calling this National Assessment and Accreditation Council. And in the forthcoming days, we'll be looking at NAC as the National Accreditation Council for accreditations. And the standard settings will be done separately by General Education Council. And the National Higher Education Regulatory Authority for regulations, for framing set of rules and regulations. And over a period of time, every college is expected to develop into either an autonomous degree granting college or a constituent college of a university. So, in terms of collaborations, that internationalizations, teacher education, this vocational education, professional education is going to play a vital role. In case of internationalizations, if you see, India will be promoting as a global study destination, providing premium education at affordable cost, thereby helping to restore its role of Vishwa Group. That is an international students office at HEI. Hosting foreign students will be set up to coordinate all matters relating to welcoming and supporting students arriving from abroad. And the research or teaching collaborations and relating to the matters of faculty or student exchange with high quality foreign institution will be facilitated, and relevant mutually beneficial MOUs with foreign countries will be signed. And high performing Indian universities will be encouraged to set up campuses in other countries, and similarly selected universities, those from among the top hundreds in the world, will be facilitated from operate in India. So they'll be given opportunity to collaborate with us, and even they will have a launch in our place where our students can learn with the standards of internationalizations. And the teacher educations, it requires multidisciplinary inputs, and education in high quality content as well as pedagogy. All teacher education program must be conducted within the same kind, the multidisciplinary institution approach. And to this, and all the multidisciplinary universities and colleges will aim to establish education departments, which besides carrying out cutting edge research in various aspects of education, will also run B.Ed programs in collaboration with other departments such as psychology, philosophy, sociology, neuroscience, Indian languages, arts, music, history, literature, physical education, science, mathematics, etc. And moreover, all standard-on TEIs will be required to convert to multidisciplinary institution by 2030. And this is the most important part, where we have to be convinced with the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approaches to be established maybe nearly in 2030 or nearby after 2025, it is expected to be implemented everywhere. And this vocational education is aimed to promote vocational kind of extracurriculum learning among the students, and of course the professional educations where it's the preparing professional cutting edge areas that fast gaining prominence, such as artificial intelligence, the 3D machine learning, big data analysis, and machine learning, in addition to genomic studies and biotechnology, nanotechnology, neuroscience, and with important application to health, environment, and sustainable living, that will be woven into undergraduate education for enhancing the employability of the skill. Because nowadays, what are the major problem we face is the unemployment problem, and the but challenge is challenge which is there behind unemployability is, of course, the skill, the lack of skill. And this new education policy only focus on those particular areas where all such kind of things are given much importance to. And this, what is university industry collaborations? Our university is committed to excellent teaching, innovative research, and the personal intellectual growth of its students in diverse academic community. So this mission statement from prominent US research university, it is typical of almost to all the universities and all the education institution. It is almost a typical statement. The notable features of the mission statements are the commitments to the students and the academic community. Thus, universities and the industry collaborations on the rise according to the new blogs. If you look at the new blog site, item from Nature Index, the academy industry collaborations more than doubled between 2012 to 2016. I hope I'm on the stage. Yes. 2012 to 2016, if you see the academic kind of things, the chart below this one shows that according to the Scopus, the global number of papers co-authored by the research institutions and industry partner is on steady rise. It was keep on increasing day by day. And if you come to the present situations, you can see the increase in number in this kind of collaborative studies extended by the university as well as the industry. University in the sense like college institutions, the professors, the teachers, the students, everybody is included. They're collaborating with industrial people. See, the two scientists walk into a bar. One says, I will have the H2O, please. He gets some water. The other says, I will have some H2O2. H2O2. So H2O2, then what happens? Of course, he dies. This H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide and it is a toxic. And this scene is often the beginning of the fruitful collaborations, the minus the death. They imagine two researchers, one from biotechnology startup and the another from a large university medical research lab, meet at a conference. They discover they have similar research interests and share research and jointly publishing papers. And it can be a powerful force in driving innovations. And this collaboration might start with the simple interaction, but it is also one that leads to fruitful discoveries. Sometimes we say we meet people in conferences and we get some kind of affiliations, a kind of we'll create rapport, and we tend to collaborate for some fruitful researches. And it gives, of course, it leads for fruitful discoveries too. And what is that role of universities and industry collaborations in case of government sectors? Often government plays a vital role in these type of collaboration. Their involvement is generally been increasing and very significantly by country. A three-way partnership between industry, government, universities are sometimes called the triple helix kind of system. And the triple helix model of innovation refers to a set of interactions between academia, that is the university, industry and government, to foster economic and social development as described in concepts such as knowledge economy and knowledge society. And there are several other ways where you can nurture collaboration between universities and industry. This collaboration between industries and universities have given life to many blockbuster discoveries. So unbelievable discoveries are possible only with this collaboration with universities should nurture their talent pipelines, and even this industry should tap into social sciences. And universities tech transfer offices must prioritize flexibility. That is the tech transfer from university to industry, and is not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Sometimes research occurs in a university and then commercialize outside of it. Other times commercializations begins already during the research phase. That happens during the research phase itself. And the successful evolution of the role of tech transfer officers in the universities, technology transferring in the universities, and the startups and corporate partners that work with them, and will require an increasingly holistic view of all the innovations ecosystem factors, expanding their influence and beyond the narrow role of tech transfer. And of course, you know what is happening with AICTE. It gives kind of India moving towards the academia industry partnership, where the AICTE is already giving an opportunity under the engineering colleges background They have a collaborations kind of things where they engage the students at the last year of their completion. They will be given an opportunity to collaborate or have an internship with the foreign universities also. And this India is moving towards innovation through academia industry partnership. In the US, corporates reach out of universities or institutions to bring innovations into their work, while in India, corporate and industry bodies are rely mostly on their own research. Though things are changing now, things are gradually, it's been changing, and academia and industry are two important pillars of our economy. And robust collaborations will gradually help to contribute for the developing of our country and developing of our economy and enabling innovations, growth in the education system and producing an employment ready workforce. And for several years, innovation, the education system has impacted the way businesses operate. Millennials entering the job market today are ready to learn new technologies and how to collaborate. And entrepreneurs and educational institutes need to recognize this opportunity and build a constructive framework for collaborations, recognize the opportunity and build the constructive framework and make the India a global innovation hub. And this being a beginning of a shift in the this approach in India, there have been huge leaps taken by various corporates and academia, bringing about positive changes and innovation. And this country is currently juncture where platforms like the Melting Pot 2020 are playing a major role in the transformational story. And some considering few examples where industry and academia collaborations exist are you can see this HDFC Bank, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, and the India Electronic and Semiconductor Associations, IESA, and another faculty development programs in leading universities and focus on more outcome-based research. And it is clearly aimed to create a nurturing environment where the industry and the academia can work hand in hand. This National Employability Report, this 2019, if you look at the report, it gives some input on university, industry-university partnership as a innovation and growth and key to for the success or key for the innovation and growth. So we must have a focus, and especially what is going on with the arts and science colleges is less focused on this kind of collaborative activities. Whereas in engineering colleges aspects, they give much focus on the innovation, incubation center, having a hub, working with entrepreneurship, working for skill development, and even the collaborations with for other institutions and foreign academies. And does this new education policy provide an answer for all those problems we are facing? Is that it has the new education policy announced in July 2020, identified lesser emphasis on research and lack of research funding across disciplines as a major problem currently faced by the higher education system in India. And accordingly, the knowledge creation and research are perceived as the fundamental principles of higher education system and critical for sustaining a large and vibrant economy. The policy therefore envisaged that establishing a national research foundation, and with some of the primary activities are fund competitive and peer-reviewed grant proposals of all types and across all disciplines to seed, grow, and facilitate research at academic institutions, and to act as a liaison between a researcher and relevant branches of government as well as industry, and to recognize outstanding research and progress. And this NEP has defined universities as a multidisciplinary institution that will focus on research and innovation by setting up startup incubation center, as we still on force and implementing, and the technology development centers in frontier areas of research and through the greater industry academic linkages. And the government has decided the NRF will be governed independently of the government by a rotating board of governor consisting of a very best researchers and innovators across fields, keeping it as a safe distance from bureaucracy. And to conclude with, we can say that a good way for students to understand and learn the working of the industry is for the spend 6 months or even 1 year on the shop floor as interns in the industry. The students can get exposure to new areas like Internet of Things, the artificial intelligence, the data science, 3D printing. And during their stay in industry, especially because of these new technologies are not part of courses in all institutes. Along with technical skills, industry require graduates with managerial skills too, like interpersonal leadership, good communication, creative thinking, multitasking, quick decision making, and so on. And the guest faculty from industry can supplement they can even have a kind of element risk, but the entire process of becoming an entrepreneur is just like students learn the latest industry skills, knowledge, and experience, and which makes them highly employable graduates. Apart from including their curriculum system to prepare, we have to make the students as a job creator and not just a job seeker. And thus the curriculum must include DPR preparations and its implementation, entrepreneurship cell and incubation center. And government must provide a platform for presenting the views of the private sector. When we have implementation of this NEP, along with this collaborations and multidisciplinary approach, the government must provide a platform for presenting views of the private sector and ensure their participatory role in the development of technical educations in the country. And for instance, during the consultation of policy formulation, organizations such as the CII, you might have heard about CII, and the FICCI is all innovation and incubations contributors. And even the faculty members need to visit and interact with industries to get acquainted with contemporary technologies to further the know-how to the students, how it is happening. If they must have the ideas. So in order to inculcate to the students, the faculties must be aware of it. And the well-established industrial groups may be encouraged and should be preferred for setting up technical institutes in the vicinity of the industrial plans, making it easy for the engineering students to do internship during their course, and will facilitate a two-way flow of ideas between the faculty's member and the industry on common issues. So in this way, the partnership between the universities and industries for research and development, that is soon after will be evolved in almost all the education institutions. That's going to be the major part of the implementation of NEP and proposed under NEP, and will meet the requirements for the satisfaction of all the stakeholders. Stakeholder in the sense, the teachers, students, and the management or the parents, whoever it is, they will have a satisfactions as kind of things in case of research and education. But not the at least, such innovations also have the potential to address many economic problems being faced by the country, like a trade deficit, employment generation, reduced dependency on import, and also strengthen the national security. So these many advantages are there when we inculcate with the collaborative kind of learning in research as well as in educations. that gives that thus widen the area of students in case of exposure. So with this, I thank the management of A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College and our collaborators, of course, Dr. Mutmaina ma'am from University Al Azrias Mandas, Indonesia, and Professor Queen Elizabeth, yes, you can international today, and the organizers of today's conference, the convener and the I.K.C. cell coordinator, as well as the organizing secretary, Dr. Samundesh ma'am. Everyone, thank you all for the collaborations. We wish to have more programs in collaboration with other organizations as well as with the K Forum Trust. Thank you once again for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable speech, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between academia and industry for the purpose of growth of the nation. Now I invite Dr. Shyamala Susan to propose vote of thanks for this session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for enlightening us with your thought-provoking speech on reforms and research NEP 2020. Thank you very much, ma'am, for addressing how NEP plays a pivot role in developing our country's demands. Thank you very much. Thanks again.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I call upon Dr. Swarnalakshmi, Assistant Professor of Botany and member of IQAC, to introduce the next guest speaker, Mr. Mohammed Zubair, who's going to give a talk on the topic Inclusive Education, a Tool for Reforms. Dr. Swarnalakshmi, please. Swarna, ma'am.
Everyone, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mohammed Zubair, our speaker for technical session 4. Mr. Mohammed Zubair is an assistant professor of special education in the Department of PT and NFE, Jamia Millia Islamia Central University, New Delhi. He is the registered professional in RCI, and he is a versatile, dedicated, and professionally competent in the field of special education, inclusive education, and a certified practitioner from Rehabilitation Council of India. He has vast experience in identification of students with special needs, assessment, and evolving appropriate remedial measures. He is a professional who is flexible and accommodating in the design and implementation of inspiring hands-on lessons, employing wide-ranging manipulative to enhance student achievement. He is skilled in addressing students' needs, ensuring children will thrive and development in an adaptable educational atmosphere. He uses farm behavior management techniques, possessing excellent interpersonal and communication skills to develop an excellent rapport with all members of school community. His area of proficiency includes multidisciplinary educational plans, technology integration, team teaching approaching, curriculum development, and individualized educational plan. He is having 8 years of experience in the field of education in the different position by serving various organizations from school to university. He has presented many articles in national and international conferences and seminars. He has been awarded many national and international prizes by many organizations. He is member of educational committees in international organizations. He has been participated more than 200 international conferences as a keynote speaker, attended more than 400 seminar workshops and in-service training programs. Also, he has won many prizes in sports and co-curricular activities. With this brief introduction, I hand over the session to Mr. Mohammed Zubair. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And sir, excuse me, sir.
Kindly make him as a co-host so that he'll be able to share his
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Before our guest speaker starts the session, we would like to share a short teaser on release of proceedings. Dr. Chamundishwari. Dr. Chamundishwari.
Nice, nice. Excellent. You can stop sharing.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay, thank you, Dr. Chamundishwari. Now I request Mr. Mohammed Zubair to take over the session.
So please.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Good morning. First of all, good morning and good evening, good afternoon around the world, because this is international conference and many people watching this around the world. So first of all, I would like to thanks A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College for Women for inviting me at this platform, at this big event where we are sharing our views. And I also like to thanks all the speakers, Dr. Muthi Mania, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, and Dr. Subhadra, and all those who are participating in this event. I'm very thankful to them. And it's my pleasure to be here to talk on the topic inclusive education, a tool from reforms. As I am Mohammed Zubair. I am working in the Faculty of Education in the Department of Teacher and Training in the Jamia Millia Islamia Central University in New Delhi, and we are preparing teachers. I am teaching Bachelor of Education, Master of Education, Bachelor of Special Education, and Master of Special Education students there. So this is a good topic because inclusive education tool. My screen is visible to all of you.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
Okay. So as we know, every child has their unique abilities and potential. So when we talk about the inclusive education, so it is important to give the opportunities to all students in the same setup. Because when we talk about in context of India, when we talk about India, so many tribes are there, many minorities are there, girls are there, orphans are there, and special kids are there. So we have to teach them in the same setup. And because as we know, according to psychology, every child have their own potential and abilities, and they have individual differences. So we have to deal with them according to their potential, and we have to assess them, and we have to assess their current potential, and we have to modify our strategies how we can teach them. So it is the right of every child to get education, because society needs a variety of people to progress humanity. And inclusive education has become the important approach around the globe, which provides equal opportunities for all students. As when we talk about the human rights, all students have the right to learn together in the same setup, and we have to provide them the infrastructure, the facilities, the curriculum adaptation. So no one can discriminate children because of their learning ability and social, economical, and cultural family background. All the research shows that children do better. Children can perform better when we teach them in the inclusive setup. because teamwork, collaborative learning, cooperative learning will be taken place, and the joyful environment we can provide them in the setup, in the inclusive setup, because multidisciplinary team will be there. For example, because different students sitting together in the same room, and it is very challenging for teachers. So we have to recruit the multidisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary staff, like music teacher, games teacher, occupational therapist, physiotherapist, special educator, guidance counselor. All teacher must be there in the same setup to deal with the student. So given commitment and support, inclusive education is more efficient use of educational resources. So same in the social aspects, when we talk about the separation, if we are giving education to special kids or the women or the girls in the separate mode, so that will not develop the social skills, because all children develop relationships, variety of people around them, and we have to increase we have to create interactive environment around them. So mutual respect, understanding, cooperative learning, leadership qualities we can develop in them. And psychologically also, when sometimes students are very introvert in nature and they are not able to express their views in front of the teachers. So when they are taking education with the same peer group in the same classroom, so their confidence and motivation and self-esteem will be rise, and development of safe and secure feeling in the group will be occurred. So inclusive education may help the development of children in different ways, in psychological aspects, in the moral aspects, we can increase their self-esteem. We have to provide need-based education to our students, because need-based education is important. We have to assess our students at the early stages. We have to, before the teaching, during the teaching, and after the teaching, we have to assess their potential, their capabilities, and we have to work on the holistic approach of our children. So they will do well when the general environment is adjusted to meet their needs. So when we exclude children from the education system, there begins a demarcation in the society. So it is very difficult to include them. So but teachers are those who can mold their students according to their needs, individual differences, interest of the child, aptitude of the child, because every child have their own potential. Everybody won't be a doctor, everybody won't be a musician. So we have to assess which skills students have and in which area we have to work. So teachers make desired goals and try to achieve those goals to enhance the skills of children, and they taught according to the need of the student. So in this ongoing situation, pandemic was there.
Not change. Excuse me.
Hello, sorry.
The slide is not changing.
Now I think it's changed. No change. Okay.
Not it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not
okay.
it.
Okay. So in this ongoing pandemic situation, we face too much problems, and the new role of the teacher of the teaching has been arise, and every child is unique, as we know, and every child requires unique instruction by special trained teachers or the professionals. So we have to assess their abilities. Many initiative has been taken by the government of India. They have made many commissions. They have many, many policies have come. Kothari commissions talked about the inclusive education, about the physical handicap education in 1964, and then national policy of education in 1968. They also emphasizes on the free and compulsory education for all. So education facilities for the physically and mentally handicapped was mentioned in the 1968 policy. But in 1986, the National Policy of Education, they discussed about the equality among children in education and should be accessible to each and every child. So in general school, we have to give the opportunities to all in the same setup. And the Rehabilitation Council of India, RCI is the, RCI is a body, a government body is working under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and regulating the special education of India. So to regulate and monitor services given to persons with disabilities. So all the special children's, can take education in the inclusive setup. So, but there are lots of, modifications and accommodations we have to do in the teaching learning process. And some, international conferences like Salamanca conference in 1994 in Spain. And, a large number of developing countries participated in that conference for the promotion of inclusion in the developing countries in the mainstream schools. And we have to make mainstream schools, we have to change mainstream schools into the inclusive schools. So the principle of inclusive education was adapted from the Salamanca conference. And after Salamanca conference, in India, PWD Act was, passed by Government of India, and Person with Disability Act, and seven disabilities were there in the Person with Disability Act in 1994. And another conference was taken place in Dakar in 2000 for the education for all. When we talk about education for all, we have to include all marginalized society in the same setup, and we have to provide opportunities. In the same manner, UNCRPD, International Human Rights Treaty drafted by the United Nations in 2006 to promote, protect, and ensure the full enjoyment of human rights by persons with disabilities and the other groups of
sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, we request you to change the slides, sir.
I think now change?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No,
I think
it's
some
not
technical...
changing. It's not changing. Still it's idle only. Just go downward. Go downward. Downward arrow. Select one slide and go downward. No, it's not changing.
It's not changing.
You can reshare it. Close your sharing and then come again.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, it's going on now.
1 second.
Yeah, you can move the cursor accordingly. Now we are in 16th slide.
Now, ma'am, it's visible, 16 slides?
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
You can go downwards on while presenting. Okay. The same procedure you can.
I think now it's okay.
Try changing the slides once. Check it. Come down and go. Move to the next slide, please.
Now it's okay?
No, it's not moving. Go to the next slide, please.
1 second.
You can go select the smaller one, the left side slides, and then go downward. The left side. It's not changing at all. Now we are in the 16th slide. Yes. Change the slide, please.
Now it's okay?
No. You change the slide. Go to the next slide. Let me check.
Change the slide. Okay. I changed the slide, but it's not working, I think. Okay.
Then you stop sharing and connect back. Select the PPT alone. Or you can share the entire screen. Just stop sharing.
Okay.
Start it again. Start your PPT again. If the PPT is not working, you go for the whole entire screen presentation. Go to the next slide, please.
Now it's okay?
No. Go to the next slide.
Yeah,
Can you share your... sorry. Can you share your PPT through WhatsApp?
Okay. 1 second. Share. 1 second. Ma'am, I'm sharing by my Google Drive. Okay, 1 second.
Otherwise, you can go for the screen share view. That would be easy. Screen share. Now we are in screen share. Otherwise, PPT view.
Okay.
Select that PPT window alone. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Go to the next slide, please. Yeah, it's changing now.
Now it's okay.
But the view is very small. The slide view is very small. Is
Okay,
there
I
any
will
yeah,
slideshow. I will.
Go for slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes, better now. 100%.
Okay.
Yes, you can continue now. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah.
So United Nations Convention, was held in 2006 in UNCRPD, and International Human Rights Treaty drafted by the United Nations in 2006, and Indian government was a signatory body of that, convention. So the aim of the convention was to promote and protect and ensure the full enjoyment of human rights by persons with disabilities, and also ensure that persons with disabilities enjoy full equality under the law. So we have to provide the opportunities to all marginalized society, like women, like tribes, like minorities. We have to give them equal opportunities in the society. And 1995 Act, as I told you earlier, that PWD Act was enforced enforced in 1995 by the government of India, and 7 disabilities were included in that law. Another act was in 1999, National Trust Act. The other disabilities were taken: autism, cerebral palsy, mental retardation. So the aim was to make society inclusive. So this is the slow process. This was slow process, and it is under inclusion is under it is under process right now, and we are changing our school in the inclusive mode. In Delhi, I'm living here in Delhi, and Delhi government has all the schools have been converted into into inclusive schools. All mainstream schools have been converted, and they have recruited many teachers, and they have changed the infrastructure. They have changed many things in the schools. So national policy of special education has come in 2006, and this education policy was instruct us, and the objective were barrier-free environment, to provide barrier-free environment, and women with disabilities, we have to include them. Issue of disability certificate to the society, persons, those who have those who have problems, promotion of NGOs, and collection of records. So then the RT Act came in 2009, and every child, free education for children from 6 to 14 years, and up to 18 years for in the case of special kids, 6 to 18 for the special kids. So now the RPWD Act came in 2016. Now 21 disabilities, have been, introduced by the parliament, and it was passed in parliament for the obligation of UNCRPD, because Indian government, signed in the UNCRPD, and now the PWD Act, has been replaced by the RPWD Act, Right of Person with Disability Act, and it came into force on June 2017 under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and now 21 disabilities are there. Many disabilities like thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, and like acid attack, many dwarfism, autism, learning disabilities, many disabilities came in the act. Like you can see in this slide: blindness, low vision, leprosy cured, hearing impairment, locomotor disability, mental illness, dwarfism, and intellectual disabilities, autism, cerebral palsy. So lots, the main aim is that to increase the participation of the society, to increase the participation of each and every individual in the education system. So inclusion stresses, so it means inclusion stresses that each child, regardless of the intensity and severity, is important, and is the human resource, and we have to utilize that human resource, and we have to make independent. We have to make them independent in the society. The challenges can be overcome by raising awareness of human rights in communities, and publicizing positive examples. So it means the theme is that all children can learn together, and acceptance of all people regardless of their differences. We have to accept them, and inclusion also allows people to value the differences in each other by appreciating that each person is unique in his or her creativity. So this is the theme that we have to create such a learning environment that promotes full personal, academic, and professional development of all learners, irrespective of race, class, color, gender, disability, sexual preferences, learning styles, because every child is unique, and some students are auditory learners, some students are visual learners. We have to change our methods and strategies during the teaching learning process. So children who learn together, live together, this is the main theme of the inclusive education. So the principles are no discrimination with the students in the class, in the society, equal educational opportunities for all. School adapt to the need of the student, because many schools don't have the infrastructure, don't have the teachers, don't have the special educators, don't have the guidance counselors. So we have to adapt the school, and equal educational benefits for all. We have to give them equal educational benefits, and the students' views are listened and taken seriously. And individual differences are there between the students, so we have to teach them according to the differences. So the practice of developing inclusive school involves understanding inclusion as a continuing process, not a one-time event. We have to change the setup, and we have to take some innovative ideas and strengthening and sustaining the participation of all students, teachers, parents, and community members in the work of the school. So we can provide an accessible curriculum. One second. Sorry for disturbance. So the need and importance of inclusive education is that to fulfill the constitutional responsibilities, because constitution has provided us the opportunities, the rights, and we have to enjoy those rights as a citizen. So to enable children to stay with their families, for the development of healthy citizenship, for achieving the universalization of education, and developing feeling of self-respect, for the use of modern technology, for social equality and self-reliance. So education for all, protection of rights, identification of skills, and development of social consciousness, and to prepare for new challenges, and development of brotherhood, and to improve the quality education in the society. But lots of problems faced by students during the inclusive setup, like many children are bullying to one another, and inferiority complex, lack of awareness, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem. Teachers are not well trained, they are not motivating their students in the class. Adjustment problem in the environment, because the pace is different in the inclusive setup. Every student is different, so the pace of learning is different of each and every child. So sometimes they feel isolated and segregated, feeling of extra burden or insecurity. Sometimes they are introvert, lack of expressions. So some negative approaches are there, shyness is there. So as a teacher, we have to create such environment. We have to give them such exposure where they can learn in the joyful environment. So the role of a teacher is important in the inclusion, because he has to interact with the parents, because parents know the history of the child, how they achieve their milestones, physical development, the mental development, and they can assess their case study, and they can discuss with the teachers, so to be able to solve their problem. And teacher can solve their problem, teacher can observe their milestones, teacher can observe their academic records, non-academic records, in which area students are performing well, in which area they have limitations. So to be able to develop self-confidence, and teacher can motivate and reinforce their students according to the need. So special training must be given to the teachers on some online, on offline seminars, and are going on some the teacher trainings, some orientation programs government is organizing on the same time. So special care for special children, improve methods of teaching is important, and provisions which are important, which provisions Constitution has given us. So problem of CWSN in inclusive setup is lots of problems, like acceptance, like labeling, like clarity of responsibilities, and inclusion is valuable and possible. So in inclusive school, sometimes the problem is the acceptance. People are not accepting. They have the kids. For example, if I have a child and as they have autistic symptom, they have autism, so I will not accept that my child have some sort of limitations. So acceptance in the society is important. So which kind of potential they have. So respect is the another aspect. And labeling is the is psychological process after after assessing the child in which area he or she has problem. The multidisciplinary team will assess the doctor, the psychologist, and they make label to them. School readiness is important because, as we know, when we talk about the inclusive education, the environment, the physical environment, we have to change the infrastructure like ramp, like lifts, like ramps, adaptive toilets, the resource room, the computer rooms, the laboratories, libraries, and school readiness is predetermined set of capabilities. Change the structure and functions of the school system. Policies and practices should be modified to meet the unique needs of the child. So these are the important aspects. The concept of readiness includes much more than children readiness, because the role of teacher is requires to accept the responsibility of for creating schools in which all children can learn and feel free. So develop positive attitude among all. Sometimes people or the teachers don't have the patience. So patience is important in the inclusive setup, because sometimes you will face not too much challenges, curriculum modifications you have to do, and many adaptations you can do. So flexibility must be there. So in inclusive education, sometimes we need to give them a special education, and special education is a wide range of support programs, placement, or you can say instructions we can give to our students. Special education may be best described as a purposeful intervention plan, purposeful intervention design to overcome or eliminate the obstacle, and to achieve the goals, desired goals of the teacher. So the barrier-free access is important in inclusion, because BFA refers to the universal access for all children and adults within the schools. And this should not be limited only to buildings and physical infrastructure, but also extend itself to curriculum, because curriculum is not same for all students. Because in the inclusive setup, all students are not auditory learners, all students are not the visual learners, all students are not the kinesthetic learners. They have their own potential, they have their own pace. So this is particularly relevant in this context of children with special needs, because they have variety of learning needs. Access physical environment of the schools or the universities. The path from the gate of the school buildings and playground must be clear and labeled. All entrances and doorways in the school building should be between minimum to 4 to 5 feet wide. The toilet inside the school should be accessible to children with special needs. The toilet should be fitted with commode and grab rails. The drinking water outlet should be accessible. Avoid sharp turns in the walkways. The walkways must be clear of any hung and protruding obstructions. Steps should be equal and even heights at stairs. The end of the handrail should be bent downwards to avoid injuries. Bright colors, preferably yellow, should be used at every change in slope, at the beginning and the ending of the staircase for easy recognition. All the surfaces should be non-slip, and loose gravel or cobbles should be avoided. Natural lighting should be optimized. Safety of each and every child should be ensured by the provision. So access to curriculum as well. The classroom design should allow the teacher to be able to pay personal attention to the child, including effective positioning and placement, keeping in mind the individual needs of the child. So adaptation and accommodations needs to be made in the procedures for assessment. Use of teaching strategies, including signs and gestures, use of teaching learning material, innovative ideas, availability and accessibility of teaching learning material, TLM, within the classrooms to be ensured. Ensure participation of CWSN in all curricular and co-curricular activities, because we have to make joyful environment in the class. And use of peer support, peer tutoring, team teaching, collaborative learning, we can use these approaches in the class, and we can use technology ICT in the class. We can use many aids and appliances like calipers, wheelchairs, buses, special chairs, crutches, wedges, pencil grips, communication boards should be available in the resource room of the school. So ensure adequate space allocation to meet individual needs. Participation is important of every child. So ensure that visual, tactile, and pictorial learning aids, level of difficulty of both languages and content need to be adapted as per the comprehension level of the student, and use of concrete objects in the class. Ensure, the teaching learning strategies. Provision of suitable hearing aids, maintenance, the resource teacher must be there in the school, and he should provide auditory training to make optimum use of residual hearing of the child. He should use the visual, he should give a visual training to the visual training to make optimum use of the residual of visual of the child. Sitting arrangement. So many things we can do. But these are the things we can do. Early identification. Every child, every child development is different. The rate of development is different. Sometimes at the level of physical development, at the level of mental development, they have individual differences. So early identification, observe child milestones at the early stages. When your child started to sit, when your child started to walk, when your child started to speak well. So the second aspect is acceptability. Family and society must be accept which kind of children they have. So they have to accept with the limitations, with the potential, and access. We have to prepare special schools, infrastructure, welfare environment, colleges near the in the society. So we have to we have to make good access to the schools. And sensitization and awareness is important in the society, because we have to sensitize the people. We have to aware them and make them independent, provide equal opportunities to all, provide need-based education to each and every child, and use adaptation, modification, and accommodations, and curriculum adaptations and behavior modifications, important aspects, and need-based education is important. So how can we get good results? So curriculum designing is important aspect when we design curriculum. So we have to consider each and every child, and multi-sensory approach we can use all modalities for learning, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile. So imitation methods we can use in teaching learning process. Repetition drills always works well. We can conditioning, we can create an environment and we can change the behavior of our students. And multidisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, the multidisciplinary staff must be there in the school. All teachers must be there in the same setup. Use concrete objects and make barrier-free environment. Use games, activities, daily life examples relate to their life. Use worksheets. Hands-on training is important aspects. Different methods according to the needs, like peer tutoring, like team teaching, cooperative learning, innovative aids, equipments, innovative methods, audiovisual aids, ICT, child-centered methods. Therapies must be there in the school setup. Counseling, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Intervention plans we can prepare. We can prepare case study. We can assess the functions of the child. We can make individualized education plan, IP, for each and every child. But lots of barriers are also there: attitudinal barriers, and the conceptual barriers, the physical barriers, policy barriers, the programmatic barriers, the social barriers are there. But we have to overcome these barriers, and we can make a good environment for our children. So how can we make meaningful inclusion in the school or in the college or in the society? So these are the important terms: accommodation and modification. Sometimes both accommodation and modification are considered adaptation, but they are different. For example, accommodations means a change in how a student access information and demonstrate learning are used in the classroom. Accommodation in front of adaptation occur when teacher differentiate instructions, assessment, and material in order to create flexible learning. For example, every child is unique in the class. For example, I am giving some textual textual material to my students for learning. But he is not a visual learner. He is not understand. His perception is not working well. So he is not able to learn the visual form of the content. So I can change that content in the auditory mode. So the visual to auditory mode, I have changed the content in the visual form to the auditory mode. Now he is able to learn because he is able to listen and learn content from audiobooks. So this is the example how we can use, how we can use accommodation in the class. We can change sitting arrangement. We can we can give extra time to our students. For example, some students are high achievers in the class, some students are low achievers in the class. So they have their own pace. So we can, for example, we can give extra time to one children, but there is no need to give extra time to other children. So the sitting arrangement in the class, we can give the large print material to them. We can use different methods in the class. For example, if I am teaching solar system to my students, so I am using ICT, I am using videos to teach them, but some students are not learning from that method. So I can organize a activity in the class. I can conduct an activity in the class. So I have changed my method. So we can change the methods and strategies. That is the accommodation. We can record our lessons. We can dictate, we can outline a lesson. So these are the, these are the intervention. These are the supporting, things we can use in the class to increase the rate of learning. And what is modification? That is, modification is, adaptation that alter or lower standards or low expectations and can be termed as modification. For example, RT Act, nowadays RT Act has been implemented by the government, and a child has came in my class and he is in 6th standard or he is in 8th standard, and according to the age we have taken admission. So he is not able to read. He is not able to read the language. For example, he is not able to read the exam language, but other students are able to read the language. So as a teacher, I have to make lesson plan according to the need of the student, because he is a new student in the class and his strength is different. His pace or his pace of his rate of learning is different from the other students. So we have to alter the content. Different content, we have to provide different content to different students in the class. Changes in what a student is expected to learn alone meaningful. For example, if I am teaching alphabets to him, but other students and other students are very aware about the alphabets. So I will give him the different homework. I will give him the different. The assessment will be different. Homework will be different, answers will be different, and the approaches will be different. So I have altered in the content. So this is the modification. So we can use modification and accommodations in the classes. So we can increase the participation of our students. Every child is unique. And the multisensory approach I has talked about, the use various senses in the inclusive setup, because it is important to use multisensory approach in the class. Multi means more than one senses in the class. We can use all modalities in the class. For example, some students are auditory learners. They learn well when they listen. So they learn reading by listening to someone present information orally and by being allowed to discuss and ask questions. So you can record your lectures and they can listen. You can record your lectures, you can record your rhymes, you can read aloud, they can listen carefully, and you can play many sound games with them. So these interactive lectures, you can make interactive lectures, utilize sound during lectures. So hello, okay. So these are auditory learners. In the same manner, some students are visual learners. When they see, they learn well. So you can use many charts, pictures, diagrams, illustrations, many ICT apps, many highlighters, charts, illustrations, visuals in the class. Some students are kinesthetic learners. They can learn by activities. So kinesthetic learners learn best through movement of their small or gross motor and fine motor skills. They can take information best while they perform. So many activities you can conduct in the class, many games, many puzzles, many hands-on activities in the class you can perform. Some students are tactile learners, when they can touch, they can learn well. So learn best when they physically engage in the hands-on training in the resource room, in the laboratories, in the libraries, in the many games you can organize. So inclusive education is important, and it provides, you can say, 1 second, stop sharing. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So inclusive education is important nowadays because every child is unique in the class, and we have to give them need-based education, and we have to make classroom more interactive, and we can use different strategies, methods, and you can approaches according to the need of the child, according to the strength, and we have to assess the strength and limitations of our child firstly. Then we have to give them equal opportunities in the school, and government should take must steps to make a school more and more inclusive, and every teacher must take part in the inclusive setup. And this is all about from me. Thank you. This is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for making this session more informative by giving detailed information about various acts to make society inclusive. It is free education for children, education for marginalized section, education for disabled, and by highlighting the principles of education and the ways for practicing inclusive education in almost all the areas and disciplines. Objectives of inclusive education and problems faced by students in including education, like inferiority complex, feeling insecure, and so on, and the ways and means the teachers should be trained to create a joyful environment to make the education inclusive. So thank you so much for your excellent presentation, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
End of the technical session. Thank you, sir. Success of these technical sessions are due to goes to the tireless efforts of Dr. Chamundishwari, Assistant Professor of PG and Research Department of Commerce and member of Internal Quality Assurance Cell. I now invite Chamundishwari to propose vote of thanks. Chamundishwari, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. On behalf of A.P.C.Mahalaxmi College for Women, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this virtual international conference on research and education reforms in the 21st century, organized by the IQAC. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and the eagle eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues of APC IQSC and the collaborators of this virtual international conference. At the outset, I thank our resource person, Dr. Muthmania, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai, and Mr. Mohad Zubair, who inspired us through a wonderful talk on the topics education in the 21st century, reforms in management and education, reforms on research in reference with NEP 2020, and inclusive education, a tool for reforms. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. We are thankful to our Honorable President and Secretary for their motivation. I also wish to express my gratitude to our Principal, Dr. N. Meena Kumari, for her support throughout the process of this conference, and a special thanks to our beloved coordinator, IQSC Assistant Professor of English, Dr. T. Lilligolda, for her unflattering support and confidence in a sense of appreciation. I would like to thank our organizing secretaries, Dr. K. Baladipa Tulasi and P. Yogeshwari Nitya and other members of IQAC for their unflinching support. I would also like to thank our collaborators for their resolute coordination. Thanks to all the participants who have participated in this conference with involvement and for their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. I thank you all for being with us this noon. Have a wonderful day again. Thank you.
Thank you all. So paper presentation sessions for commerce will begin at 1 p.m. Thank you.